The gold and silver markets are booming, and the gold stocks as well. We have a very great market environment, which was kind of clear as we have seen the gold price rising and the gold companies and gold stocks lagging behind. But now it's the time to really do due diligence again and sell the stocks that are not sustainable and buy some more of the stocks which could have real potential at these gold prices. And today with me is Warwick Grigger. Warwick is an analyst and also a businessman from Australia, and he is an executive chairman of a company called Aguia Resources, a gold producing company and also a phosphate development company from South America. Warwick, first of all, thank you very much for your time. It's great having you.
It's a pleasure, yeah.
Very good. So maybe we start by you giving us an overview of the overall market situation. The gold price did very good and some of the gold stocks really had a great run, but it was not just gold, it's also the rare earth, it's uranium, basically all the metals having a run. You have quite a background as an analyst. Give us an idea of the market sentiment. Did we went too high, or is it a sustainable situation? Give us a feeling where we're in.
Well, we've run hard and fast in the last 2 or 3 weeks in particular. We've seen this coming 6 months ago. It's panning out, but it's getting more aggressive, and it's getting to a point where it's unsustainable for more than a few weeks at a time. There's 75% of the stocks that I cover in uptrend, and it's very hard to maintain that enthusiasm for too long. So I would a lot of stocks have run without any fundamentals. It's just enthusiasm and market psychology. They're the ones that are most vulnerable to correction. And when I say correction, it can easily be 20, 30, 40% from these levels before the market will stop and think, do we go higher? So I'd encourage people to take advantage of the very strong run, especially in stocks that might be more speculative, that don't have any fundamentals, and rotate that money to perhaps more conservative or more fundamentally based stocks that you know will have a future beyond just a period of wild enthusiasm in the market right now. The market is very much a casino at these levels.
Very good. Thank you very much, Warwick. So you think it's a good idea to sell some stocks that run maybe too high without fundamentals, rotate the money, buy some more conservative stocks. What kind of stocks are you thinking then? Are we still talking about gold mining stocks, or would you consider going out of the mining industry at this point?
No, I'd stay with mining. I'd say that the commodities that have got potential, uranium, that's one, but gold is just going to get stronger from these levels. That's my favourite. Sectors like rare earths, they're almost all speculative. No matter how good how well they're promoted, they don't have real fundamentals behind them. So, sectors like copper, the traditional mining sectors are okay, but it's pretty hard to go past gold at this point. My own personal holding is very strongly weighted to gold, and I think it's got a long way to go from here.
That sounds very good, and I think I would agree on that, because we can see all the drivers for the gold price being still in place, and it doesn't seem to break up, and it doesn't seem like the Chinese are going to sell the gold. Instead, they are buying more. So the whole overall sentiment seems to be very positive here. But let's talk about a gold mining company that might be more on the conservative side, which is your company, Aguia Resources. You're the executive chairman, as I said. And we've seen a couple of speculative gold stocks really running up and triple or quadruple over the past few weeks. Aguia has been lagging a little bit behind. So tell us more. Is it now a buying opportunity, considering that you're a gold producer now, still early stage, but you're producing gold, you're making money? Give us a rundown of the company, please.
Yes, personally, I think Aguia is great buying now. We're going through the normal commissioning hurdles that any new gold mine will start up with, especially an underground gold mine. We're running a few months behind schedule, but that's not unusual. We have put it through a number of very strong management changes and workforce changes in the last 3 months, and that's starting to deliver. We will be pouring good gold this month and growing for at least another 6 months. Ultimately, we'll be making very strong profits, but it doesn't happen overnight. So the main thing is we're actually in production now. We are not talking and arm waving about how good this is and how good it's going to be. It's actually physically happening. But the other side of Aguia is it's got enormous exploration upside potential. I was in London last week seeing investors, and they just love Colombia for its potential to throw off big gold projects. And there's the immediate production now, but there's a resource target of 2 to 4 million ounces, an exploration target that we're looking at, and we'll be drilling that continuously. So it's really at the inflection point. We've done the hard yards. We have overcome almost all of the commissioning issues, and now we see greener pastures in months ahead. So just at the right time. The fact that the share price is down, well, that's almost anomalous, but probably reflected by the fact that people know we're going to raise some money in the short term, and when you raise money, share prices are always a bit more subdued. But it's only a small amount of money that we'll be raising.
Okay, very good. Thank you for the overview. Can we talk a little bit more about the numbers? I mean, we're talking about a small-scale gold production here with a very, very high grade. Can you give us an idea about how much gold you're producing within the next year, let's say? At least give us an forecast. Obviously, you cannot control that, but what are you aiming for?
Yes, we've got to be careful forecasting because according to the ASX, we do not have JORC resources. We are producing gold, and that's anomalous in itself. We're producing gold without a resource, but the grade is so high at 30 grams in situ with a delivery to the mill of 10 to 15 grams. The profit margin is going to be very high. There's no doubt about that. But I would expect that October would be the first month of break even or close to break even. We will have increasing gold sales incrementally month after month. I'm reluctant to say just how much, but it's going to be very profitable. We've spent probably 10 million so far. We could easily recover that in a 12-month period. That'll give you some idea of the profitability. Throw onto that the exploration drilling, and eventually we'll come up with a JORC resource. But the fact is, when you're producing gold, the JORC resource is not as important as the fact that you're producing and what your operating costs are. Given the starting grade of 10 to 15 grams per tonne, we're going to be one of the lowest cost gold producers around.
That's very interesting. Thank you. And I think it's very important for the investors to understand that your story is different from the usual gold story, right? Because usually the companies have an exploration program for a couple of years. They release drill holes and then they come up with a resource and then they do a PEA, a PFS, and then a bankable feasibility study. They get the money for the gold mine and then it takes a year to build the mine. But you, as you said, you know what's in the ground, you're producing already, and now you can deliver cash flow first, and then you start the drilling and generating a JORC resource. So it's a totally different approach, and I think this is what separates you from a lot of stories out there that are just there to burn money, basically. You start by generating and making money, and then you try to convert it into a resource. And I think this is an approach that investors have to understand. It's different, and I think some people will really appreciate it because it separates you. But you're not just special because you're making money instead of spending it, you're also special because I have never heard of a company that has a gold and also a phosphate project within the company, but still Aguia has that. And there seems to be a lot of potential also from the phosphate project when we have a look at the company presentation and the numbers. Maybe you can give us an idea, because there you have a resource and also studies that can show us the economics. So maybe we can also touch base on that.
Yes, the phosphate is really a beautiful project. Very technically simple, very low costs. We've managed to cut capex from 25 million to less than 5 million by using existing facilities. The gross profit margin at these phosphate prices is about 200%. It costs us $65 a tonne to produce, and we'll be able to sell it for $200 a tonne. That project, I can say that because that project has JORC resources. We actually have about 100 million tonnes of resources. We're only drawing on the oxidised near-surface ore for the first 20 years. It's really one of the simplest, least complicated projects I've ever seen. And the beautiful thing about the phosphate in Brazil is a breadbasket for the world. Coincidentally, the Chinese have switched their buying of soybeans from America to much more out of Brazil because of Trump's tariffs. Now, we could quite easily be producing an EBITDA of $22 million a year at these prices. You compare that with our market capitalisation of 35 million and consider it's only going to cost us 2 to 4 million, including working capital, to get this up and running by March, April next year. And it's really a wonderful cash cow. Eventually we'll spin it off so it's a separate vehicle, because gold and phosphate confuses people. But for the time being, let's get that cash flow going. Let's start proving how good it is, and shareholders will benefit significantly from a spin-off further down the track.
Very good. Thank you very much, Warwick. And I think if we look back like 1.5 years when you and I started working together, the company was basically on a situation where you saved it from being bankrupt. You have put together 2 projects which have not been in production then. You got the gold project into production, and now you're very close to bringing also the phosphate project into production. So it has been a very transformative period. And I'm really looking forward to see the progress for 2026. As we said, you're getting the gold mine to really from the ramp-up phase to steady production, and you also want to get the phosphate project into production. So maybe you can give, for the end of this interview, us an idea, what is the potential outlook for Aguia in 2026? What do you want to achieve within the next year?
We will be significantly higher. That's my prediction. Our share price will benefit from both the gold and people seeing, once we demonstrate what the gold sales are, bring the phosphate on, we could easily be earning a very strong profit by this time next year. Shareholders don't have to wait long to see the proof in the pudding. And I think it's once we raise just a few $1 million at these levels, we'll have enough working capital to carry us through to much higher levels. So I think coming from 2 years ago when I came on board, the company was almost broke. I've taken it down a direction of 2 strong cash flow projects, and it's going to be very rewarding for shareholders.
Very good. Warwick, thank you for giving us an overview. Thank you for giving us some potential outlook. As always, this is no investment advice. I'm also shareholder of the company, and we have conflict of interest. You can see all the details below. And if you want to have information about the company, either in German or English, you can visit axinocapital.de/Aguia. Warwick, it has been a pleasure, and I'm really looking forward to talking to you again and see the progress. Thanks for your time.
Thanks for your time, Jan. It's been a pleasure.